After 10 years of marriage, my husband took me to a luxury villa and said, "This is where I'll be living with her." A woman stepped out, wearing my wedding ring. Smirking, he chose me. Heartbroken, I whispered, "I hope you both enjoy it." Minutes later, his phone pinged, and he gasped, "No, this can't be right." I walked away, smiling. "Check the deed. It's in my name. I'm 38 years old. My name is Sarah. I've been married to Mark for 10 years. We live in LA. Or, we used to. We don't anymore. We met in college in San Diego. We were both 21. I was studying education. He was a business major. He was charming back then, the kind of guy who knew how to make people laugh and get them on his side. He could be sweet, persuasive, and calm in situations where I'd be a mess. It was one of the reasons I fell in love with him. It made me feel safe. We got married at 28. It wasn't a fairy tale wedding, but it was nice. Small, close family and friends. He looked me in the eyes when we said our vows. I thought it meant something. We had a house, 2 dogs, no kids. I wanted kids, but Mark always said, "Not yet." I didn't push it because I believed him. I thought the time would come. We just needed to be more stable, he said. Over the years, we settled into a rhythm. He worked in real estate. I taught 3rd grade. Life was fine. Not amazing, not terrible. Just the kind of life where days blend together and you sometimes forget what year it is. But about a year ago, something changed. He got quieter. Started staying late at work. His phone never left his hand. If I walked by while he was texting, he'd tilt the screen away. I noticed. Of course I did. I brought it up a few times. He said I was imagining things. "It's just work stress, babe," he'd say. "Don't overthink everything." So I let it go. Stupid. 2 months ago, he started acting different. But this time, in a way that felt almost guilty. He started being overly nice. Brought me flowers randomly. Took me to dinner. Told me I looked beautiful when I hadn't even changed out of my work clothes. It felt off. Like a man trying to cover something up, not like a man in love. Then, 3 weeks ago, he told me he booked a weekend trip. A surprise getaway. Just the 2 of us. No dogs, no phones, no distractions. He said he wanted to reconnect. He said he missed us. He booked a luxury villa in Malibu. I didn't even know we could afford it. It was stunning. White stone walls, glass doors everywhere, an ocean view that looked like a postcard. For a second, I felt like I could breathe again. We unpacked. He opened a bottle of wine. We sat on the deck, watching the sun go down. It was quiet. Too quiet. Then he stood up. He said, "Sarah, I have something I need to tell you." I froze. I just knew. He didn't hesitate. Not even a pause to soften the blow. "This is where I'll be living. With her." I thought I didn't hear him right. "What?" He didn't repeat himself. He just looked over my shoulder. I turned. And that's when she walked out. She stepped through the sliding doors like she owned the place. She had this confident smirk on her face. Long brown hair, flawless makeup, perfect skin. But what hit me the hardest was the ring on her finger. It was my ring. My wedding ring. Not just the same model. It was mine. I recognized the scratch on the band, the tiny chip in the diamond. Mark had it resized for me after our 2nd year. I remembered crying when he gave it to me again. She was wearing it. She looked me in the eyes and said, "He chose me." Just like that. No shame. No hesitation. I felt hollow. Like something inside me cracked open and spilled out. But I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just looked at her, then at him, and I whispered, "I hope you both enjoy it." I turned to walk away. Then his phone pinged. It was on the table beside the wine glasses. He picked it up without thinking. I watched his face shift. It went pale. He stared at the screen like it was in a language he didn't understand. The deed. The deed to the villa. In my name. Not his. Mine. I smiled. I couldn't help it. I said, "You should probably read the deed again." I walked away for real this time. The look on his face is something I'll never forget. A man who thought he was playing chess while holding the checkers board. The woman he cheated on me with was standing beside him, confused, still holding on to a lie. And there he was, realizing he lost everything. He tried calling my name. I didn't turn around. I got in the car. I drove down that winding Malibu road with tears in my eyes and a grin on my lips. Now I'm sitting in my best friend's guest room writing this because I haven't figured out what to do next. I have questions. Legal ones. Emotional ones. But I'm not broken. Not yet. The next day, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Mark called 7 times. Then he texted, "We need to talk. You can't just walk away from this. You don't understand what you've done." I left them all on read. I stayed with my best friend, Carla. She's been in my life since high school and always told me Mark was a smooth-talking snake. She never said, "I told you so." Just poured me coffee, handed me tissues, and let me sleep. That morning, a lawyer called me. Not mine, Mark's. Apparently, he was trying to contest the property deed. Said I manipulated him into transferring it into my name. That I took advantage of his trust. I laughed. Let me back up for a second. What Mark didn't know, and what he obviously forgot, is that my dad, before he passed, made me promise I'd protect myself. Mark didn't grow up poor, but he always wanted more. My dad saw that. He never trusted him, not fully. So when we got married, any large purchases, cars, property, investments were always in my name. It wasn't a secret. Mark even signed the agreement back then. We used a family lawyer. He just forgot. Now he was panicking. Carla called her cousin. He's a real estate attorney. When he read the documents, he chuckled. He doesn't have a leg to stand on. So I sent Mark a message. "You should probably talk to a better lawyer." That's when the real storm hit. 4 days later, I got an Instagram message. From her. The woman who wore my ring. Her name is Bella. I didn't care. I wasn't going to respond, but something about the message made me pause. "Sarah, I didn't know. He said you left him." I stared at it for a full minute. She sent more. "He told me you abandoned him years ago. That your marriage was dead. That you didn't want kids. He said the villa was a gift for us, from his company." I blinked. My hand actually shook. Then she said something else. "He gave me a new ring yesterday. Said yours didn't matter anymore. But now I realize it still had your initials inside. He never even tried to hide it. He recycled my ring like it was a prop in a play." Bella begged to meet. Said she needed to tell me something else in person. I said no. But curiosity? That's a bitch. So I agreed to a coffee in public. Carla came too, sat at another table in case it turned weird. Bella showed up in oversized sunglasses and a beige trench like someone playing detective. No makeup this time. She looked tired. Sad. Younger than I thought. Maybe 26. She sat down and said, "I'm pregnant." I didn't speak. She added, "He doesn't know yet." Then she handed me her phone. Messages between her and Mark. And they went way back. Not 6 months. 3 years. While I was crying myself to sleep over failed fertility tests, he was playing house with her across the city. I asked, "Why are you telling me this?" She looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Because he's going to lie to you again. And I think you deserve to know how deep it goes." Then she dropped one more bomb. "I'm not the only one." Bella said she thought he was dating her, not married. But then, a year in, she saw his name on a work badge with our last name on it. That's when she started to question things. That's when he said he was in the final stages of a separation. That I was the one holding up the process. That I was unstable, and he was protecting her from my crazy. I nearly threw my coffee across the cafe. But then she said it. "There's another woman." I found a receipt in his car, hotel in Palm Springs. Not under your name. Not mine. Someone named Lisa. Lisa. I don't know who Lisa is. Yet. I went back to the villa. Mark was there. He opened the door, saw me, and immediately tried to hug me. "Baby, I messed up, okay? But we can fix this." I didn't move. I said, "Bella told me everything." He froze. I watched the life form behind his eyes. It was always the same flicker, like watching someone juggle excuses in real time. She's lying. She's obsessed. I tried to let her down easy. I laughed in his face. He hated that. His eyes went cold. Then I said, "You're going to hear from my lawyer." And I handed him a letter. Not divorce papers, yet, but a legal warning. Attempting to transfer or claim ownership of the villa could count as fraud. He went silent. That's when I asked the final question. "Who's Lisa?" His mouth opened, then shut. Gotcha. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if I want to burn his world down or walk away and never look back. I still cry at night. I still feel stupid sometimes. But I'm also getting stronger. There's more to this story. I can feel it. Should I talk to Lisa? Should I confront him again? Should I let everything blow up? I'm not sure yet, but I'll post more when I know what happens next. It took me 2 days to work up the nerve to search for Lisa. Bella had taken a picture of the hotel receipt she found in Mark's car. The full name was Lisa Menendez. A quick Google search led me to a LinkedIn profile. She worked in HR at a tech company in Culver City. Her profile picture made my blood run cold. I'd seen her before, not in person, but in our house. A year ago, we hosted a little Christmas mixer. Mark said it was for his networking group. About 15 people came through, mostly strangers to me. I played hostess, served wine, made appetizers. Lisa was there. I remembered her laugh, loud, sharp. I also remembered her because she wore red heels inside, left scuffs on the new hardwood floor I had just refinished. She had stood in my kitchen, drank wine from my glasses, used my bathroom. I texted Bella. She freaked out. You have to talk to her. But I didn't want to reach out yet. Not without knowing what I was walking into. I needed more proof. So, I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through Mark's old laptop. It was in a closet at our old house, in a box labeled taxes and boring stuff. He probably forgot about it when he moved out. The laptop still worked. The password was the name of his favorite football team. Typical. Within 30 minutes, I found everything. Emails, calendar invites, even folders with photos. There were hundreds of pictures. Mark and Lisa at a vineyard. Mark and Lisa at Disneyland. Mark and Lisa in our guest room. Our guest room. But one thing hit me the hardest. A PDF of flight confirmations. One was for him and Lisa. To New York. The departure date? Our anniversary. The receipts were all in his name, but the credit card? Mine. He had a second card on my account, one I forgot existed. The New York hotel? Paid with my money. The vineyard tour? My card. Disneyland VIP passes? You guessed it, my damn money. He hadn't just cheated on me emotionally or physically. He'd done it financially too. He stole from me. That night, I called Carla and told her everything. She nearly broke her phone in rage. You know what this is? She said. It's not just betrayal. It's fraud. You need to tell your lawyer now. So I did. My lawyer was quiet at first. Then he said, this changes everything. During the next legal review, my lawyer found something strange. There was another property. Not the Malibu villa. Not our main house. Another one. A condo in San Pedro. It had been purchased a year and a half ago under a shell company. The business name was something vague. Lark Development Group, LLC. But the signer? Mark. He'd tried to hide it. But the paper trail led back to him. And here's the kicker. He paid for it using part of our joint investment account. The one we were supposedly saving for our future family. I didn't even know he withdrew the money. It had been sitting there untouched for years. But apparently, 6 months before he started showering me with flowers and fake apologies, he cleaned out $40,000 and used it for the down payment. So while I was crying in the bathroom after yet another failed pregnancy appointment, he was out shopping for rugs with another woman. I didn't wait this time. I emailed Lisa. Subject line, we need to talk about Mark. She replied within 20 minutes. Gave me her number. Said she'd been wondering when this day would come. We met at a Starbucks halfway between Culver City and Long Beach. She was calm, collected, professional, like someone who's done crisis control before. She started with this. I didn't know he was married. Not at first. I swear. I found out 6 months ago. I asked, why didn't you leave? She looked me dead in the eye. Because I didn't want to believe it. Turns out, Lisa and Mark were talking about getting engaged. He told her he was just waiting on a clean break. Told her we were separated. Told her I was unstable. He used the same script with all of us. Then she said something that nearly made me drop my drink. I had a miscarriage. 3 months ago. He cried. Said it was a sign from God to wait. A miscarriage. She'd been pregnant too. And suddenly everything made more sense. The way he always shifted the topic when we talked about IVF. The way he refused to even see a fertility doctor with me. He didn't want kids with me. He wanted them with someone else. Maybe more than one someone. I don't have an ending yet. Just more questions. Who else is there? How long has this really been going on? And how much of our marriage was just a costume he put on to look respectable? There's going to be a reckoning. Financial, legal, emotional. It's not just a broken marriage anymore. It's a web of lies, deceit, and stolen time. I'm not sure how far this goes, but I will find out. I didn't plan for it to happen the way it did, but maybe that's the only way something this messy could happen. Uncontrolled, unplanned, brutal. The confrontation happened at his office. I didn't go there with the intention to make a scene. I went to deliver the final paperwork, a cease and desist regarding any claims he made on the villa, and a formal start to divorce proceedings. But as I walked through the glass doors of that fancy real estate firm, heels clicking, nerves rattling, I saw her. Lisa. She wasn't just one of his flings. She worked there. Not just worked there, she was part of his team. She had been in meetings with him, lunches, business trips. Every overnight client thing he ever mentioned could have been her. Then I saw Bella, pregnant, standing in the lobby, holding an envelope. My mouth dried up. It didn't feel real. She saw me and looked panicked. She whispered. He told me to come. Said he wanted to talk. I blinked. He told me the same thing. A few seconds later, the elevator dinged. Mark stepped out, wearing that smug, polished look he always wore around colleagues. His face froze when he saw us both. No escape. Bella stepped forward first. You said we could talk. What's going on, Mark? He held up a hand. Let's not do this here. Please. Let's go somewhere private. I snapped. No. We're not going anywhere. You lied to both of us. Actually, probably all three of us. I looked at Lisa. You want to tell her? Or should I? Lisa crossed her arms. She knew. She didn't look shocked. Just embarrassed. Bella looked between us. You're together too? Lisa nodded. We were. Bella's face crumbled. You said I was the only one. You said she was crazy. Both of them. Mark tried to speak. Bella, I know. I cut in. Tell her about the condo. Tell her about the money you took from our joint account. Tell her about the ring you gave her that used to be mine. Gasps rippled through the office. People were watching now. Employees, interns, a couple of clients. Phones were pulled out. I didn't care. Mark stepped forward, trying to keep his voice low. Sarah, you're being dramatic. I laughed, but it came out broken. You destroyed our life. You're stealing money. You're lying to multiple women. And now I'm dramatic? Bella's voice cracked. You said you loved me. I lost a baby, your baby. Mark's face shifted. A flash of guilt? Or just fear of exposure? Then Lisa dropped the bomb. I'm also pregnant. The room fell dead silent. Bella turned to her, eyes wide. You're what? I just found out, Lisa said. I haven't told him yet. Mark stood there, pale, stunned. Finally speechless. 2 babies, I said. With 2 women. While married to a third. It felt like my heart stopped, then restarted, and then began beating so loud I could hear it in my ears. I gave you 10 years, I said. I stood by you when we had nothing. I tried for years to have a child with you. I thought it was me. I thought something was wrong with me. My voice cracked. My throat burned. You never wanted kids with me, did you? He didn't answer. Tears blurred my eyes, but I didn't blink. I wanted him to see it. Every ounce of pain. Every piece of betrayal he poured into my life. Then Bella stepped toward him. I'm keeping the baby. Don't even think about ghosting me. Lisa added, and if you come near me or try to manipulate me, I'll tell HR and you're bored. Mark tried to move. Tried to salvage something. I never meant for it to get like this. I made mistakes, yes, but we can talk about this. Sarah, we're done. I said. You made your choice. I walked out. Bella followed me. We cried in the parking lot. I offered her a ride. We didn't say much. We were too raw. But there was a strange comfort in knowing the truth was finally out. A week later, the divorce moved forward. My lawyer added financial fraud to the case. The condo in San Pedro was frozen. My bank helped file a formal claim. I shut down every account connected to him. Changed all the passwords. Froze credit. Mark lost his job. I heard through the grapevine Lisa filed a report for inappropriate conduct. There were internal investigations. Whispers of misused company funds. I didn't feel sorry for him. Not anymore. I spent nights on Carla's couch just staring at the ceiling. Sometimes I cried. Sometimes I laughed at how absurd it all was. Mostly, I grieved the time. 10 years. 10 years I could have used building my life. A family. A business. A dream. Instead, I was feeding his. I thought I was a wife. Turns out I was a cover story. But here's the thing. I'm still here. Stronger. Wiser. Angrier. Yes. But also freer than I've felt in years. Carla said something that stuck with me. He built a house of cards. You just pulled the last one out. I don't know what happens next. I'm not ready to date again. Not yet. But I'm taking a trip. Italy, maybe. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere he never touched. The villa? I'm selling it. Funny thing is, now people keep telling me how lucky I am that the deed was in my name. Like that was some kind of happy accident. It wasn't luck. It was my father's gut instinct and my decision to listen. That saved me. So no, I'm not broken. I'm rebuilding. And the next time someone steps into my life, they're walking into a fortress. Not a playground. and they'd better come correct. Because I'll never let someone like Mark tear me down again. Not ever.